Action, live to the moment. I have a 70 questions why I love my partner, Zaranika Tanefi. And we're going to start here with the awesome Winwell. And I'm switching hands, that's good. My right's working, my left's working. I made a sauce tonight, and that sauce is delicious, I'm sure of it. Before I get started on the 70 questions, I do need to remove this because I'm kind of hungry and kind of thirsty. Let's see how, oh, careful. First time lifting something that's a little bit heavier. Pretty good. So I've got a sauce that I made tonight, and the reason I love to cook is not just because I love cooking, but I love cooking for someone. And that someone is Ms. Zaranika Tanefi. And she's no ordinary princess, nor is she an ordinary great-granddaughter of Prime Minister. And it's not her title that made me fall in love with her, for I didn't even know her title for many months, even though she denies telling me, and she said she told me. In honesty, she did not tell me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So the real reality of my 70 reasons why I love my partner, my girlfriend, who I proposed to at Bay and Bloor. It's a fact. And she said yes. So technically, now we've been living together, we're deemed as a common law marriage. Again, something she would deny. But in reality, who one loves and how one falls in love is going to be completely subjective and objective to the individual. There's no doubt about that. And I need to turn on the fan because, I've already sweat a lot today. I've exercised a lot. I move a lot. I lead exercise. I lead resilience. And at the end of the day, you better believe it's good to have some air conditioning. So thank goodness for indoor AC. And now, the only thing left to get here before I can do the 70 questions is some ice cubes. So, I'm going to get this Fast and Furious awesome collector's mug. Thank you to those that put that together with the movie, because that's an awesome thing. I'm going to rinse this. And need to get some ice cubies here. No need to do that. Let's get it here on the tray. Get some ice cubes. 3. And put them in. And look at that, an Olympic 5 ice cubes. So that's awesomeness. Check on my sauce here is simmering. Make sure nothing is sticking. And I made it a rosé sauce. And the way you make it a rosé sauce is you start with a mirepoix. And it's just a fancy cooking term for a start to your soups and sauces. You get this mirepoix mix. So, and I'm gonna add some milk. And milk goes in there, and that makes it a rosé. So it's red, and the sugary white. As you can add butter, you can add cheese to make it a rosé sauce. You can even add some rosé wine. I mean, there's lots of ways to come about making a rosé, but rosés are sweeter. They're definitely tastier. And if you've never made a rosé sauce with your spaghetti, you have to try it. I'm also going to turn off the oven because we have our toast in there, which is ready. And just going to add some awesome water here into the mix. And I've been boiling a lot of water. Not because there's a boiling advisory here, but it's a good habit to boil water, I think. This little spaghetti, one spaghetti, imagine that, like all the spaghetti did not stick except for one. That's something. Okay, so that goes in there. And now we're going to add some very important water to this. Ooh, wow. You can see my eyelid really needs some attention there. So we're going to boil some water for drinking the rosé sauce. is got the base mirepoix, and the mirepoix was made today with onion, diced, carrots, and a little bit, and usually you could put celery as your base mirepoix, but today I put a lot of yellow pepper, and that brings a lot of awesome flavor to your sauce. There's no doubt about that. And if I had garlic, I'd put garlic, but you gotta cook with what you have in your kitchen. So there we go. I'm going to move this over to here. This is very interesting balancing. And there. So now I've got my one boiling water on the one side. That's the left side. It's exactly 801, which is even 8 to the left and prime to the right. I've got some amazing sauce here that's now cooked. And when you clarify something, you boil it, and it gets clear. And once it's clear, then you add the other stuff in. I've got my milk. Milk does a body good. Pass it on. And I'm gonna have some milk here, and I've got some oven roasted pierogies that my partner, who's awesome, when she does put effort in the kitchen, is one of the reasons that I do love Zaranika Tanefi. So here we go. I think I've got everything. I'm just gonna get my water now. Add a little bit more ice cubes. So they're 5. So here's now 8, and 9, 10, 11, and would you look at that? 12. 12 awesome good news ice cubes. So there you go. We're gonna top up the incredible Fast and Furious water container, because when you sweat a lot and you don't drink and take in the base constituent of what the body needs and what's made up of water, you get dehydrated, and 70% of people are dehydrated. So what I suggest to all my clients, and I make a good habit of, I start with water, I continue drinking water throughout the day. I always have a bottle of water, and if I don't, I look to make sure that my meals are always having water with it. I don't drink too much juice, but I love juice, and I always look for natural food products, which is huge. Okay, so here we go. The top 70. Let's see how awesome this 70 list is. I know there's a lot of things to cover, so let's start back from the beginning in 2012 March. So number 1, I have to say, and it's an aesthetic thing, I love my woman's rear end, and it is what it is. It's the first thing that I happened to see before I even saw her. I saw her walk, and so that's my number 1 thing that caught my eye. So it happens to be number 1 in the list of 70. Number 2, I absolutely love her lips. Her lips is the second thing I heard, because it was when I had walked past her on the Rose and Royal York that I listened to her voice, and her voice caught my ear, and it made me stop. And as I stopped, I'd been already exercising for a great deal of time, 6 hours every morning, and I heard her voice in my ear. So it was her lips projecting her sound, and so number 2 is her lips. Red as roses when she's excited. So yes, lips. Number 3, it's definitely the importance of her as a person, where she is inside of 2012 and how she got to that place, is that I was instantly recognized inside of her being. And what I mean by that is, when you meet somebody, you can instantly tell, well, have they gone to school? Are they educated? How do they carry themselves? What are they dressed in? You know, their nonverbal cues. So instantly my eyes saw what they saw, and they were excited. And so the date started right there on the spot, and I asked her to go for a walk. So her being, her intellect is number 3, and number 4 is definitely her love of the body. That's a shared love that she and I both have. So how she loves health and wellness, like I studied kinesiology, her love of the body was noticeable, because when she was walking up that street, she was strutting. She wasn't just walking, and she was showing off all of that hard work inside of jogging that she did, and that stuff I found out, as well as a lot of Bowflex activity. So yes, the love of one's well-being inside of healthy activity is number 4. Number 5 is her humor. She's outrageously funny at times, sarcastically witty and funny. So number 5 is Olympic humor, and I found that out early on. And sometimes her sarcastic wit is like my cousin's, which I can relate to because they're both Tauruses, and it takes a little bit of getting used to as a Leo, but I'm used to it. And for those that don't know too many Taurus, yes, the Tauruses, they have no qualms about telling you how they see the world. So her sarcasm is awesome. Number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all having to do with very important things. So her attention to how her education is important to her. And so 6 is her studies and how she was very dedicated, and I could tell that right away. And the more and more we got to know each other, more I got to hear about her important studies, and that's a big part of who she is. So her studies and her education attract me to her brain, and in addition to her brain, it's what she studied. So the biology of the body, the chemistry, the mind, the psychology, and all these important things, and also the importance of what it means to be a scholar, and how she in turn has also chose a profession as a self-elected Goodwill Ambassador to international students is very important to her, and equally important as a partner to be involved with a person who loves connecting people and their academia locally, internationally, and globally. It's important. So 7, 8, and 9, and 10 all have to do with her studying areas. So George Brown College, Mary Thompson, Messme College, or Messme School back home, and her important Toronto Business School inside of dental, and her HR work, which is George Brown College. And you better believe all of those 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are very important to, as I mentioned, her intellect, her ability to make good, reasonable, not only sound decisions, but I would say well-rounded decisions based on her scholastic, and that's just scholastic learning. Number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's a top 10 here, and they're all going to be straightforward. It's her love of family, and her love of family is strong, and it's a good reminder to me and to everybody else out there to love and appreciate one's family, because when you love your family, you're loving yourself, but you're also recognizing the importance of what your family put into you. And believe me, every family has their give. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is all family. And number 1 is loyalty. So that is an important quality she has, and she obviously learned it from her family. And her loyalty is incredible. So kudos to the family that taught her that, and to herself, who most likely continued to see that as an important part of her being her, Zaranika Tanefi. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. More qualities, all having to do with family. And her trustworthiness is a big thing. So her trust in me, not necessarily in others, because she always likes to say as a HR person to trust and verify, but she trusts me a great deal. So that trust is a big part of my life, and it's helped me a great deal, because my specific dealings with trust was always at a deficit. So trust is huge. And 13, 14, 15, and 16, that's 3 more, and it's definitely bravery, ambition, and the importance of keeping her being real to her. So being real to her is a big part of my love of her, because she doesn't fake who she is. She is always who she is. So that's awesome. So that's 13, bravery, courageousness, very hand in hand, something that she learned early on, obviously, but something that she's worked on inside of her life, inside of everything that she's climbed for, she's reached for in her academics, as well as her personal life. And as she's continued to strive for her goals, I applaud every effort, every step in the right direction. And that's an awesome reason for sure inside the top 70. So 17, 18, 19, and 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. So from 15 to 20, it takes us to the important 17. So 3 really is, I would say, remarkably calm, yet remarkably intense. So she has moment of intense, you know, like a bull charging at you, and you better get out of the way at those times. And then she could be completely calm, and it could be like a stop and start in basketball, which is a great thing because I love playing sport. So that kind of fiery, icy, stop and start, charge of the bull, stuff that I'm used to definitely in my family, but having it from Zaranika Tanefi, a princess, is an amazing thing. So 18, 19, and 20. Dedication is an important thing. So dedication to anything she does. So she dedicates 100% of who she is in the time she's doing it, whether it's her internet work, whether it's working with other people, whether it's working with her family. She's dedicated. And so dedication is a great quality, and how she dedicated a lot of time and love into me. That's a huge thing. 19, 20. These top 2 are unforgettable important qualities. They're her perseverance. So dedication and perseverance are a little different. Her perseverance means that she's already accomplished much in her life, and she keeps striving for more. So she's perseverant to do more, and that's tied to ambition too. But her perseverance outshines every day because she's always looking for new ways to impress upon her ambitions inside of building her business and reaching her families, and always letting them know how much she loves and is committed to them. And that's an important thing because it's an important thing for me in the qualities that I look for. So 20 is 100%, you better believe it's her quality of linguistics. So her abilities to speak in multiple tongues. So as far as I'm concerned, if you could speak 3 languages, you're ahead of the ball game. But if you could speak more than 5, you are in Olympic linguistic territory. And when you speak more than 6, it's just phenomenal. Like my grandfather on my mom's side, who's a doctor, used to speak 7, so can she. So Olympic captain, 7 languages, amazing. And having been a translator, it's an important thing definitely inside of what it is that she can do. So in her ability to speak with her tongue in multiple languages, it's a sexy thing too, there's no doubt about it. Now, instead of going all the way to 70, I think I'm gonna have to make this video, because it's already been 18 minutes, and I'm gonna have to make the top 5, Captain 5, the last part of this video, and it's definitely a top 5 for me. So the importance of her radiance that shines through in everything she does. So when you take a look at all the qualities that I've talked about in the top 10 to 20, and the aesthetics that drew me to her, as well as her ambition to make her who she is today, the top 5 is easy. So number 1 is her abilities to look and see and connect to so many other people, and it's incredible how she does this. But she can research and remember things like none other, and it has to do partly with her upbringing, but definitely it has a lot to do with her love of research and love of finding out every single detail about everybody else's life in a good, positive way, because that's what politicking is all about. Know thine audience and know the importance of who they are, what they've done, and what they're passionate about, and how to be able to potentially speak with them on important topics to relate, but also to bring her business to a point where she can make something that's important and of value for others too. So it's an incredible memory she has. So that's 21, and the top 4 united for is she's royal. And if you've ever been with somebody royal, you'll know that they have a certain polished refinement about it. They have no time for any BS, number 1. Number 2, they know what they love and they know what they want, royalty, and they're not afraid to speak to what that is. So that's amazing. And that's 22. 23, 24, and 25. The last 3 trinity is that her undoubted love for being in a relationship with me has proven her commitment, her loyalty, her dedication and devotion for whatever we've been through, and we've been through a lot, there's no doubt about it. And she's shone on any and every intersection, which is an amazing thing. So definitely that's 23, 24, and 25 has to be 100% how she and I have a common love of movies. And there's no doubt about that common ground where her ambitions to build a movie production is a great ambition, which is going to build a lot of jobs, but also she and I have a lot of time to watch our favorite movies together, talk about it, and relate about previous movies. And we've had hundreds and thousands of conversations about movies, as well as we promoted movie making and actors online, because as far as I'm concerned and she's concerned, we have an absolute love of the movie industry. She has family that's in the movie industry. She has an uncle who is a coordinator for stunt coordination inside of martial arts. He's done lots of movies in Asia, China, Taiwan, Japan. He's worked with notables such as Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and other people inside of martial arts. And you better believe her family connection to movie production, as well as her own love of movie making, is 24. And the last one has to be the total picture. She has what Jerry Maguire calls the qualm. She has it all. She has the love, the ambition, the good looks, the smart brains. She has the Olympic 5 of everything. And that's my top 25 today on an incredible lead for captaining 19 with just doing it and making the important recommendation and the important relation to a local and global collaborative goal to see not only my partner's ambition, which is a great one, to build her own city, and she needs investors, because to build a city, it's not inexpensive, it's very expensive, but to see it through is an important thing that's going to take the team effort from many other investors, not just her own ambition and everything that she has as far as her letter of credence and who she is as a great-granddaughter of Prime Minister of Korcha Albania, who she knows, who she grew up with, who she was affiliated with, who was affiliated to her family, but clearly who she is and who she is striving to continue to become and is successfully. So that is my top 25 reasons why I love my Princess of Albania, and you better believe that's a lot of give today on the important Captain 19 of October 2021. Have an incredible afternoon, evening, everyone, and remember to recognize those people around you, because it's good to hear that from someone other than maybe yourself or maybe a teacher, because teachers do give report cards, but it's great to hear it from family and friends. So, and even from people in your community, it's important to give that recognition, where recognition is an important part of what builds up trust, and it builds up great unity, and it builds up, most importantly, the importance of what I would call social strength. And social strength, as well as belief, is a undoubtedly strong bond. So have a great evening, everyone, locally to Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, internationally to my cousins in the United States, coast to coast to coast in Canada, sea to shining sea in the USA, inside of Her Majesty's important United Kingdom, Great Britain, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and of course the important London, England, and you better believe that the Big Ben and the large, important guard inside of the Royal Marines and everything else, the connections to local and global resilience, renewability in what NATO stands for, and inside of energy utilization, inside of what it means to embrace leaders that build, integrate, and make the realities of sustainable, renewable, resilient cities a real reality is an important call today and every day. Vote for those leaders that are going to build the future that makes it not only good for one's family, but for all families, because when you build, integrate energy that is renewable, resilient, and sustainable, your family is going to be without pollution, and no better way to build resilience and healthiness inside the body, not just outside of what one can do, but also with what one's air is. And the air quality is definitely based on the energy that is produced to make our electricity run, our computers and our phones and everything else work. We need it. It needs to be part of our heating or cooling. And on that count, I gotta cool down some more because it's getting hot in here. Have a great afternoon, evening, everyone.